Hello, my dear fellow travelers, photographers, and friends around the world. Once again, welcome to Chris Lee Travel Channels. And we are still continuing with our journey in South Islands of New Zealand. So right in front of you is a map of New Zealand, and we have covered the South Islands. And today, we'll be covering my journey, the stop over at the point 4, or rather is number 4 stop of my travel journey in South Islands. We will cover a very beautiful town, Dunedin, as well as surrounding, which is famous known as the Otago Peninsula. And we also will cover some of the coastal scenery along these regions of the east coast of South Island. And to begin with, just a preview of what I'm going to share with you today. I'll be covering the highlight for today will be one of them is this Tairi Georgeville journey, which we embark on this close to 4 hour journeys through and fro over this beautiful gorge. And we also visit two of the coastal regions. One of them is this Moraki border, and of course the next one then will be the Tanna Beach. Both of them are actually not far from Dunedin. And then we will then have a more in-depth tour of this Otago Peninsula, basically a drive along the coastal routes in Otago Peninsula. And finally from there we are leaving Dunedin on our way to Queenstown, which will be our next stop, which I have shared with you in my second episodes. So let's begin our journey for today. The first stop that I'm going to share with you here is this Dunedin. Now Dunedin is the second largest city in the South Islands of New Zealand, and after Christchurch, and the principal city of the Otago regions. And today, Dunedin has a diverse economy which includes manufacturing, publishing, art, tourism, and technology-based industry. Now, the mainstay of the city economy remains centered around the tertiary educations, with students from the University of Otago and also, as well as the Polytechnic of Otago Polytechnics, which actually took up near to 1/4 of the city population. And this University of Otago is considered one of the oldest New Zealand university, and we have a lot interesting building architecture to share with you, which I will showcase some of the important building landmarks to you. Now, the architecture grandeur and the accompanying garden of Otago University uh, lead it to be ranked as one of the world's most beautiful university campus by the British newspaper, the Daily Telegram. Telegram, right? Is correct. Sorry, Telegraph. Daily Telegraph, an American online news website, the Huffington Post, and one of the iconic landmarks of the Otago University is the clock tower. So let's have some tour of this interesting Otago University. Now, the image you're looking at now is actually the Otago University, the clock towers, and this is the locations of Otago, Dunedin, in relation to the South Island. There are many interesting, beautiful building in this university. Now, in one section of the university campus, I managed to capture this beautiful scene, autumn scenes. Then our journey will in Dunedin, including touring around the city center, which will cover one of the oldest and the most beautiful train station in New Zealand, is known as the Dunedin train station. Now, Dunedin train station is one of the nicest old building in the Dunedin and have been regarded as one of the most elegant train station in New Zealand. Now, this distinctive building feature on many Dunedin postcard, and as well as the Manic, the Tea Tower, and the like. You can see that it's been using as a symbol of Dunedin. Although it is now mainly served as a tourist destination rather than a railway station, right? Providing a day trips or day trip of the train to the Tairi Gorge, right? Which we have took a ride on that, and which I'm going to share with you subsequently. Which depart from this station, and more importantly, this station was built in the early 19, I should say it's early 20th century. And part of its kind look as a castle. It look more like a castle, isn't it, from the look of the image? And at the same time, even you are not doing a train trips, is visiting this train station. Now, this Tairi Gorge Railway Route, which I'm going to share with you, was built in the year 1890s, which to connect the Dunedins and the center of Otago. Now, this day is only run as far as Pukerangi, right? It's a town, a small little town name. It is a tourist attraction now, rather than a means of public transport. Now, an impressive piece of engineering consider building on the difficult terrains. Now, this train roll over the numerous viaducts and passes by some stunning scenery. The best season to ride on this train is during the autumn seasons, which we took part in this train ride during our tour. So now let's look at some of the night scene of this train station. This is just one of the interiors images of these train stations. So let's begin our tour of this Tairi Gorge railway journey. Now, this Tairi Gorge railway trips that take you through an outskirt of Dunedin and out to the stunning vista of the Tairi Gorge. Sorry, just difficult to spell. Pronounce this name. Scenic train trips into the spectacular center Otago hinterlands and up to the rugged Otago coast north of the Dunedin. In other words, it's a train ride northwards to the central Otago. Now, a lot of this area can't be reached by car, so the train really is your only options, and is the beautiful and quite different to the rest of Dunedin, a place to see. So the journey, okay, to the Tairi Gorge first take you through some uninspiring Dunedin industry area, but it is no longer until you are out to the green field of the Tairi Plains, and from there you will join up with the Tairi River and into the Tairi Gorge, and the view start to open up. Let's see some of the images to give you have an understanding of it. So you can see this is the map showing the direction of travel of this train routes from Dunedin train station all the way more toward like northwest directions. And if you zoom in into the map itself, this is actually the path, the actual path taken, and you can see that from point 1 to point 2 as shown in this map is actually still within the Donaldson industrial area, and which is actually a flat plains, has nothing to shout about, nothing to see. But it's only from point 2, as I mentioned earlier, when the train start go into the gorge area, and you start seeing a different view, and the train railway line are running along the river. Alright, so you look carefully in the map itself, you can see the train route actually is just next to the river, just next to the river. Now the train above, right, will be then traveling along this narrow Tairi River as it cut through the rocky gorge, and is an interesting slide of nature that is pretty unique in New Zealand. Now the train stopped for a short time around halfway into the journey, and you are given the opportunity to get down and stretch your legs. Now the ride comes with a running commentary of the area and the history of the railways that keep you entertained and informed along the way. And again, depend on which journey you took. The Tairi Gorge Railway will stop as you say, as I mentioned earlier, Pukerengi, for about 10 to 15 minutes before returning the way that you come from. Now at this Pukerengi, there isn't much to see, except for a small railway buildings, or rather you can call it museum, and a field full of ships. Now the journey back takes around 4 hours. Basically is through and fro 2 hours and back 2 hours. And the returning ticket for this train ride will cost you around New Zealand dollars 105. I'm not sure whether there's any change in the fare, or approximately 350 ringgit for the Malaysians. So let's begin our tour. This is our train captains of the day, and we take a group photo at this Donaldson train station, and you can see that this is a picture taken while we completed our ride. We took the morning ride, and then by the time we reached back to the station is around from the clocks above is about 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So these are the scenery that we view from this train station. As we are visiting during the autumn, so you can expect that a lot of trees along this river that have been fully turned into goldish, yellowish golden color, as can be seen in all these images. This journey is particularly attract the attention of photographers who those who like natural landscapes. As I said, this railway track was built in the early 20th century, and of course, looking back, is more than 100 years old. And you can expect that the thing that you see in this part of the railway line is, as I mentioned, is very much different from other part of New Zealand. And for those who are interest viewer, I would suggest that please go to the website, the railway station website, to find out more about this train. And because due to the COVID-19 restriction in New Zealand, things could have changed. Now the next stop that I'm going to share with you along the east coast of South Island is visiting this Moraki boulder, as can be seen in this image, that this boulder is very, very unique, and it's something worth visiting and share with you. Just go a bit background of this Moraki boulder. And no trip to New Zealand, South Island is considered completed without a trip to these mysterious Moraki boulders. Now, visitors driving along the North Otago coast often stop to graze at these Moraki boulders. Now, situated on the North Otago coast, there are a lot of theory about how they come about, and of course, some of them have some practical sense. Some of them are mere magical imaginations. But these amazing spherical stones draw tourists from all over the world. Indeed, it's very rare and very unique. Now, this spherical stone lays scattered across a beach, it weighing several tons, and some are as tall as 2 meters up in diameter approximately. According to a local Maori legends, the boulders were washed ashore after the Great Cannon's Aratiru wrecked hundreds of years ago. Now, the scientific explanation, right, is that they are calcium concretions formed over 60 million years ago. So to visit this boulder, you need to head to Kokohi Beach, named between the Moraki and Hampdens on the State Highway number 1. Let's look at the map itself to have a better understanding. Now, this is the exact location of Moraki boulder, and under the northern Otago coast. And this is a zoom in picture. You can see that it is between the two towns, the two red dots, one at the top and one at the bottom immediately, and the position is more or less just in between these two towns. Alright, they mean that and the route that's passing through, as I mentioned just now, is the State Highway number 1. Although it's free to visit this boulder, but there's a weird situation whereby if you want to reach the boulder by so-called the boardwalks, you are supposed to pay New Zealand dollars, $2 as a contribution or donation, as the boardwalk is built, owned and maintained by the cafe on site there. So you can see this is actually the sign putting up by this restaurant, and the indicator is a private walkway to the Moraki boulder. And here I state clearly that you had to pay the $2 entrance fee, all right, to assist with the maintenance. A general view of this beach, you can see you can find quite a fair bit of these spherical boulders scattered around these beach regions. Some are also in good shape. Now this human figure at this image will give you an idea of how huge is this boulder. And some of them have been broken into pieces, and this is how you look like internally. Then from this Moraki boulder, you travel south toward Dunedin directions, and you will come across at one point, we call it a Katiki point, where we have a overlook the ocean. And this is a map showing that actually the location is south of a Meraki boulder, as what we have visited just now. This is the general view at this part of the coast. On the far end, you can see a lighthouse. Then after passing through Dunedin town, go further south, not far away, we will then come to another very interesting place. They call it the Tanner Beach. Now, this Tanner Beach is less than 8 km southwest of the center of Dunedin, close to St. Clair on the New Zealand South Islands. Tanner Beach is hidden from the view by the rugged sandstones cliff rising about 150 meters above sea. Now, shaped by the might of the Pacific Ocean over the millions of years, the beach is studded with naturally formed rocks arches, cave, and a hand-hill sloping tunnel, which give the beach both its name and access to this day. So let's look at the location again. Now, the location now shown that is actually south of the Otago Peninsula, which also means is south of the Dunedin city. And if we zoom in, there is exactly the location. Now, this is a far view of, we haven't reached the beach yet. The beach is still a decent away, but this just has a far view of the coastline. Now, this beach only opened to the public since 1983, and Tanner Beach is accessed while the Department of Conservation Reserve. A path zigzags for more than a kilometer through a public accessible private farmland to the dimly lit 72-stepped tunnel, and then go to the beach. Alright, I will share with you some of this photograph later on. It's a journey that should take you around 20 minutes from the stop car park area until you reach to the beach. And although it's generally suitable for all ages, it can be sleepy up the rain. So from the car park, we walk out. While walking on the path, right, at the beginning of the path, and look down, you can see this is a general view of this beautiful Tanner Beach. And this is actually the path that you need to walk, the zigzag path. The view getting closer. The beach is right below the cliff, which about easily 100 meters above the sea water level. So in this image, you can see the path at the further down. Now, while walking through toward this beach itself, you are basically passing fossil remnants of long extinct sea creatures along the way. Tanner Beach unique approach give it an atmosphere and romance of all of its own. And although it isn't a beach to consider for swimming due to the strength of the rip's currents, and its amazing view mean that you are sure to stay for longer than intended. Now, the beach is a hidden beach. This hidden Tanner Beach has been regarded as one of the most popular attractions in Dunedin. The huge sandstone arch dominates the view from the top as you arrive, as you have seen some of the image now. A short walking track down provides access to an immersive and vibrant area with surrounded cliff, crashing waves, an incredible coastal view. And more image will be shared with you later on. A point to note, actually, the walking trails or the path down to the arch is very well maintained and fenced up on one side. It crosses private farmland as mentioned earlier, but it's a public accessible. Now the meadow at the end of the walk is a great place to stop and have a short rest. In fact, they did allow a resting place. They built a resting place where there are some seat for the visitor to take a rest. And you can walk out to the edge of this arch, on top of the arch, but you need to mind your step because the view atop the arch and at the beach outside is just magnificent, but of course it can be sleepy, as I mentioned, after rain. So we are more or less standing on the arch area, and you can see you overlook the Pacific Oceans. You can see the strong wave hitting against the face of the cliff, protruding out into the oceans. So atop the arch, you look down, and what you see now at the bottom in this image is actually the tunnel beach. Right? It's quite an exclusive area. I can see 2 person is on the beach now. Now, in order to reach the beach, you need to pass through a so-called 72 hand-carved step tunnel to the beach below. And it's quite dark inside and can be sleepy, but it is an easy incline suitable for all age. So my travel mate was just stand right at the edge of this cliff. You can see how dangerous it is if you lost your balance. This is the 72 handcraft step I mentioned earlier. They lead you down from the top of the arch all the way down to the beach level. And at the beach, right, this is where we are now. The crushing waves, right, break underfoot as you took out to the vast Pacific Oceans. Right, the battering coastal stretches to the horizon, and the beach below is sheltered in a calm, hidden enclosure from the outside world. Because of is in a form like engulfed by all these high projecting cliff, that the beach is fairly calm as compared to the other side of the beach, which actually directly exposing to the strong wave of the Pacific Oceans. And if you walk carefully and stroll around on this beach, there are fossils embedded in the rock wall. The beach is surrounded in cliffs with sandstone boulders scattered around, and the cliff in this area show exposed layer of rocks, creating a natural graffiti-like appearance. So let's look at some of the surface of the rocks. And these are most near to the evening, where we took the setting sun, the shine on these projecting rock outcrops. And what my advice is that be prepared to spend more time here than you would expected, and time your visit to take advantage of the low tide. Now, as to get most out of the visit. Now, the Tunnel Beach is truly amazing place around Dunedin, and I'm not sure the time that we visit is a low tide or not, but I look from the look at it itself, it should be, it should be during a low tide season. And if we're lucky enough, we can find wildlife around this region. In fact, along the coastal line of New Zealand, both North and South Island, you can find a lot of wildlife. After completing our tour to the coastal regions, then we continue our tour around the Otago Peninsula. Now, driving around the Otago Peninsula, our trip including a drive head out from the Dunedin to Otago Peninsula, not for the destination. We are aimlessly drive along the coastal area, coastal routes. So therefore, it's strictly for the journey itself. Now, the road journey is incredibly fascinating, taking us through several cute, quaint coastal towns with gorgeous beaches, all of whom have decorated their bus shelter, the mailbox, with colorful curtain and quirky mural. Right? Unfortunately, in today, I'm not able to share with you these images, as that I think I had misplaced a second of the image taken at this Otago Peninsula. So our area of coverage, well, as you can see here in this map, this Otago Peninsula. If we look close at it, is how it look like, the Otago Peninsula. And our journey is as shown in these red arrows, is actually from the Dunedin down all the way near to the northern coastline of the Otago Peninsula, all the way until to the near to the end of it, and then have us take the same road returning back to Dunedin. So these are some of the scenery captured along the way. Now, along the way, we constantly watch out for wildlife, alright, and we'll come across several signs that warning of a sail and pilgrims that may stray into the roads. And one reached the lookout point, walk along the trail could spot wildlife along the coastline as well. And we also could spot ships that's having their nice pasture, eating their nice green pasture around the Otago Peninsula. And after a tour of this Otago Peninsula, of course, our journey ends in Dunedin, and it's time for us to head west to Queenstown, which will be our next stop. So from now on, I'm sharing with you my travel photos taken along the roads from Dunedin all the way to Queenstown. Sorry that I did not mark on the map of the exact location of where about of these images that have been taken, but it's just to give you an idea of the scenery along the countryside in this part of New Zealand during autumn season. So we are moving basically from our travel journey number 4 to number 5, which is Queenstown. And this approximate indication of the route taken by us crossing over the Otago Central region all the way to the Queenstown. So these are the scenery along the way. as we are doing a self drive, so we managed to we are able to and manage to put many stop along the way to capture all these images. And along the way, we also stop by at alpaca ranch, right? Happened to be one of my tour mate that he have get in touch with the owner, and they allow us to enter into their alpaca ranch to take some picture of this alpaca animal. And also you can find plenty of sheep around along the routes. Picture taken in one of the sheep ranch. And we also stopped by at Apple Cottage, and as usual we did a visit, and at the end of the tour we brought some freshly picked apple from the tree by ourselves. And this is some of the photo abstract taken evening scene along the way. Well, this comes the end of our number 4 episode of my journey to New Zealand South Islands. And if you have stayed until this hour, I'm quite sure that you have been entertained. If you have not subscribed to my travel channel, please do so. I will be much appreciated. At the same time, I hope you can help me to promote these travel channels to your friend and family, and get them to subscribe, like, and share to more of your friends, so that all your friends and family member can be like you, travel virtually around the world at the comforts of their home. And lastly, I wish you good health, and hope to see you again in the coming episode, which will be the last episode of my journey to South Island, and I will be covering the west coast of South Island in my next episode. Bye.